the first guest of the evening, who happens to be one of the very finest human beings that I have ever met. The quality of mercy is not strained, I'm sure, in his court. Unfortunately, he's not on the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, he's not in Donald Trump's government, because Donald Trump preferred to surround himself by his enemies rather than by his friends. He is, of course, the one and only Judge Napolitano. Judge, it is a great delight to see you again. I have very fond memories of our last meeting. Let me start by asking you, has the revolution broken out in New York? And are the jihadists roaming the streets looking for, well, I don't know, oligarchs to scalp? Or is everything more or less as it was?
Well, George, it's a pleasure to be with you. As always, thank you for your generous introduction. Thank you for the warm and happy times that you and your wife and I had together in Moscow a couple of weeks ago. The revolution is about to begin in New York City because of the election of Mayor-elect Mamdani, who shares many views with us and doesn't share many views with us, but certainly is shaking up the establishment, not the least of which is the New Yorker currently in the White House. We'll see where this goes. I thought he was going to win. I didn't think he'd get more than 50%. He did. I don't know him. I've never met him. The other two fellows, the former governor of New York and Curtis Lewa, are both longtime friends of mine. This gentleman will bring a radical change in government. You know, the largest international airport in the United States is JFK, and it's within the city limits. And Mayor-elect Mamdani has said if any war criminal lands at JFK, they will be arrested and delivered forthwith to the International Criminal Court in The Hague. So we're all hoping that that might happen soon.
I mean, we do have points of agreement with them. We do have points of disagreement with them. But as I put it earlier in my monologue, it's not that I'm deliriously happy that he's the mayor. It's that I'm deliriously happy that the worst people in the world who spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to stop him are crying bitter tears today.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's really rather remarkable that I'll be candid, the Zionist billionaires who spent a fortune trying to defeat him were no match for young people contributing $15, $20, $25, $100 at the most to his campaign. It's absolutely remarkable in this day and age of big tech and big money and political action committees here in the U.S. Political action committees have no limits on the money they can take in and no limits on the money they can spend. It's really rather remarkable that this young man and a ragtag team of supporters, the vast majority of whom appear to be under the age of 35, trounced the establishment in America's most important city. And I take a certain glee in it. I really do. I don't vote here. I vote next door in New Jersey, but I do take a certain glee in Mamdani's win.
We mustn't gloat, even though it seems like we're gloating. The farce deepened when Donald Trump and his men, Elon Musk and others, who had earlier been seeking to imprison Andrew Cuomo for murdering thousands of grandmothers in the COVID crisis, abandoned their own candidate and called on the people of New York to vote for Cuomo. And Cuomo, of course, he'll take anything from anybody. And he got 41% of the vote. But Mamdani got the highest vote. He's the first Democrat to get more than 1 million votes in the mayoral election since 1969. and he drove the turnout to the biggest turnout of this century. And it was all by people power. It was all by the sandal-wearing activists who were in his team. That might well be the future of American politics. Let's hope so.
It might. It might. And George, I have to tell you, you have a remarkably accurate understanding of American politics. That description you just gave is truly excellent. Now, think about this. The President of the United States is a Republican. He is the head of the Republican Party. He is a native New Yorker. And he told New York Republicans not to vote for the Republican nominee. He told them to vote for the defeated, disgraced former Democratic governor. It's really remarkable. I don't think Trump moved a single vote. And of course, if the Republican had withdrawn, as Trump and his colleagues tried to get him to do, but he's one tough cookie, he never would, and he obviously didn't. And you combine the Sliwa, the Republican, and Cuomo votes, it still would not have been enough to defeat Mamdani, since he won by slightly more than 51%. But it really is rather remarkable. He's claiming a mandate. He has a city council filled with like-minded people. I hope that real estate values don't go down. I hope they don't chase the financial institutions out of the city. But he has some crazy ideas, George, about government-owned supermarkets and free this and free that. He's forgotten there's no such thing as a free lunch. But I'll tell you what he's great on: civil liberties. He truly believes in the freedom of speech. No more Zionist oligarchs twisting the arms of New York City police and major universities to punish those peacefully demonstrating for a Palestinian state, which is what we just had here. You couldn't go to Columbia University and wave a Palestinian flag without the threat of arrest. That will not happen under Mayor Mamdani. No way.
Hallelujah for that. I know that you think, or many think, Gerald thinks that New York is the center of the world, but we both know that it isn't. So let's widen the lens and look at the current situation. I'm actually running a poll. Where will Trump attack next? Will it be Nigeria, or will it be Venezuela? Or will it be Mexico, your friendly neighbor, next door neighbor? Will it be Yemen? Will it be Iran? It's really come to something where we go to bed at night, Judge, and we don't know what we're going to wake up to in the morning, even which continent war might be about to break out in. How do you see all this ending?
Oh, man, I don't know how it's going to end, but I do know that it's not in accordance with American law or the Constitution. Unless I missed something. Did Congress have a great debate about which country we should declare war on? No, Congress is not even meeting because the government is shut down. Donald Trump is taking advantage of that and probably will start more than one war while Congress is not meeting. But even when they do meet, they are so timid, they either ratify or look the other way whenever he kills people. Under the Constitution, Congress declares war and the president wages war. If the president can both declare war, choose the enemy, and wage the war, choose the means, well, then he's not the president. Then he's Henry VIII. Then he's a prince, a monarch who can destroy anybody he wants for any reason. The whole purpose of the American Constitution, as you know, was to prevent that type of repetition here. But now it is here. Now we have a president who has basically said, I can kill anybody I want as long as I am satisfied that they pose a danger to the United States. That is a flat and direct violation of the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution. It's a rejection of his oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, and it will lead to more and more of this nonsense. It started out with Barack Obama, who killed Americans in Yemen, And then Donald Trump famously murdered General Soleimani when he was trying to negotiate peace between Iran and Iraq. And now he's killing these nameless, faceless people on the high seas without any evidence against them whatsoever. Well, Secretary of Defense, who likes to call himself Secretary of War, the Fox News Channel analyst who's running the Pentagon, missed 2 people, and they survived. They're not dead, they're alive, they're home, they're unscathed. They are now in a position, without coming to the United States, but by hiring lawyers, to bring actions against the federal government of the United States and Donald Trump personally for attempted murder and for kidnapping. And they don't even have to physically be here to do it. That will force this issue to get in front of a federal judge. Other than that, I don't see it stopping because Congress is too timid and the president will just keep on killing and killing and killing.
Well, you're right to say you can't know where it will end, although I think we can safely say it's going to end in defeat politically for the Republican Party. It's going to lead to a revival of a Democratic Party that looked dead and buried. And we saw in your own state of New Jersey and in Virginia last night, we saw the shape of things to come. Handsome defeats for the Republican Party. I mean, one result last night that caught my eye was in Cincinnati, where J.D. Vance's brother was running for mayor, and J.D. Vance stumped for him in that contest, and he got a humiliating defeat, a humiliatingly low vote. Unless Trump starts finding his feet again as that populist campaigner that won the election, that outsider that won the election, I think he's going down to defeat, or his people are. The idea that he can run again is looking increasingly fatuous.
I don't think he has the physical stamina to campaign the way he once did. He and his people were aware of the polls in New Jersey and in Virginia, and they intentionally had him out of the country in the week preceding those elections so that the defeat could not be blamed on him. But let's face it, both of those Democratic candidates, both women, both former intelligence agents, both former military, unusual for a woman to be former military and former intelligence and now a politician, campaigned against him, as did Mayor Mamdani campaign against him. This is a sound and round repudiation of President Trump's domestic and foreign policy, including this case in the mayor of Cincinnati. In my own home state, I know the Republican candidate very well. He's a decent, moderate, middle-of-the-road guy. If he had spoken as himself, he'd be the governor-elect. Instead, he tied his entire campaign to Trump, even when Trump said horrible things, even when Trump did damaging things to the economy of New Jersey, stopping the construction of a tunnel between New Jersey and New York under the Hudson River. It's 1/3 built already, and he stopped the construction. That destroyed thousands of jobs immediately. Even when Trump did things like that, this Republican candidate would not criticize him. So it is clear the trouncing that he took, the trouncing, was attributed to his wedding his fortunes to what is now a very, very unpopular president.
I mean, he's going to have to stop putting other countries first, isn't he, Judge? He's going to have to start making America great again, putting America first. He's done virtually the opposite of that in the whole year, exactly this day that he's been president for the second time. I mean, he might as well be president for Israel. He might as well have been the president for the Ukraine, a war which he said he would stop within 24 hours or a week or 2 weeks, but which is showing no signs of coming to an end. He's going to have to stay home and fix the roof, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And as I heard you say, every bullet in the head of every Palestinian baby was paid for by the American taxpayer. There's no question when I ask my guests on my podcast, does Trump control Netanyahu or does Netanyahu control Trump? To a person, and these are like you, very, very knowledgeable people, very much aware of public events and the private behavior that animates the public events. To a person, say it is Netanyahu controlling Trump because of the Zionist oligarchs here. I mean, Trump virtually admitted that when he addressed the Knesset, pointed to Mrs. Adelson and embarrassed her by saying how much money she had in the bank, $60 billion. It is clear that he was speaking out of school and reminding the world that the reason he was there and the reason they're there and the reason the slaughter is still going on is because Mrs. Adelson has told him he must continue to do that, and she paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, Cash and Kompromat are twins. She gave him plenty of cash. You've got to wonder if there's Kompromat involved also, though. His long friendship with Epstein and his refusal to allow people to even discuss Epstein might well indicate that as well as the cash, there's Kompromat.
Well, once the Congress gets back into session, and now that the Republicans have taken a shellacking, they're a little bit more, shall we say, humble about negotiating with the Democrats. I think Congress will be back in session by early next week. And the newest member of the House of Representatives is sworn in. That will give a majority to the forces on the floor of the House of Representatives who will force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. That will force the Republicans who run the House against their will to vote person to person, yay or nay, on the release of those files. That will stir this pot like it hasn't been stirred before. Like you, I believe there's a there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there that the government is trying to hide, and I think the government is making it worse.
Well, as the great man of letters, Dr. Johnson, said, the knowledge that one is to be hanged in the morning concentrates the mind wonderfully. And the politicians know that starting next November, they could be hanged.